Good afternoon and welcome to Locked On NBA Daily. On today's show, the Cavaliers are 3-0 since trading for James Harden. Have they become the new favorites in the Eastern Conference? Plus, and this might sound crazy, but has Kawhi been the best player in the league this season?
You are Locked On NBA, your daily NBA podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back to Locked On NBA Daily, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network. However you're tuning in, on YouTube or on your podcast app, thanks for making us your first listen every day. I'm Wes Goldberg, and today we're talking about new faces and new places after the trade deadline. We'll play Make It, Take It, and then we're going to take a look at the last night of games before the All-Star break, and we're doing it with the help of Locked On's local experts. I have two of the best with me, as always, from the Locked On Nuggets podcast. He's a senior NBA writer for the Action Network. It's Matt Moore. Matt?
Jackson Haize is being sued by Wizards mascot G Wiz, the performer who plays that. My only requirement for this lawsuit is that he has to show up in court in the G Wiz costume. Got it.
From the Locked On Bulls podcast, he's a Bears and Bulls creator for Bleacher Report. It's Haize.
Listen, my team continues to lose, so the pettiness levels on this show is just going to continue to rise. That's all I can say.
Sounds like it. We got mascots suing players.
Everyone's mad in the month of February. Everyone's mad right now.
This is the month of love. Valentine's Day is coming up, people. What are we doing here? What are we doing? It's been a week since the NBA trade deadline, so I thought we could start today's show by revisiting some of the big trades that happened and see how some of these players with their new teams, how they're doing. So I want to start with James Harden, who made his home debut in a win for the Cavs last night. The Cleveland Cavaliers are 3-0 since trading for James Harden. Here's Danny Cunningham from Locked On Cavs with more.
The thing that was most common in the media availabilities between the three of them was the word winning, that they all want to be in a situation where they can win. And that is right now the one thing that is missing from James Harden's career accolade list. Right? Like, he's won an MVP. He's finished top 3 in MVP voting, I think 4 times. He's been first team All NBA X number of times. He's been however many time All-Star. Like, he has been this incredibly accomplished basketball player. He's top 10 all time in scoring. He is one of the best basketball players to ever play the game of basketball. He's been to the finals once, didn't win it, hasn't been back. He sounded, and I think even too, if you watch the way that he's been playing, to me, he has been playing like somebody that's a little bit rejuvenated, that knows he's got a chance to do something special.
Ooh, I can't wait to get into this with you guys. James Harden, rejuvenated, playing like he could do something special. I heard the word winning a lot there, Matt. What do you think?
I love Danny. Man, he's rejuvenated. You know, he just seems like somebody rejuvenated. This special opportunity. It's about the money. It's always about the money, man. Like, he knows if he plays well, they're going to give him the extension. That's what this is about. Like, the whole thing with, like, the Clippers and, like, well, I want to go win championship. No, you didn't. They weren't going to give you the extension, so you found somebody who would. And good on him for conducting himself this way. Like, he gets paid. He's going to have an extremely lucrative career. But, yeah, I will just say that I do not think that he is rejuvenated for basketball reasons. I do think the fit's great. I do think the Cavs have an opportunity. They're just going to have to defy all of our expectations because we've just seen the show too many times. Like, you can't show us the same show that ends the same way every week and then be like, but this time there's going to be a plot twist. Okay, do it, and then we'll believe it.
It's difficult because, like, there's parts of me that wants to believe this was another player, I would believe it, but it is James Harden, right? And so I do think he does have a window here. I've talked about it when the trade went down. If James Harden embraces more of a complimentary role, especially in the playoffs, I do think James Harden can have a lot of success here with the Cleveland Cavaliers, but it's just hard to believe him because Jimmy Butler, like, these are just players that you know they're going to do what's best for them. You know, the moment that they want to throw a temper tantrum, they'll do that too. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. And this is not something I expect to do coming into this conversation because he does have a legitimate chance. He's in the East for once. He has a player like Donovan Mitchell there, and then he has those bigs that if he can get involved in the game and use his pass and get involved, he has a legitimate chance to win a title here. So until otherwise shown, I'm going to drink a little bit of the Kool-Aid and say I'm going to believe that it is finally about winning for James Harden for just a little bit of time.
I'm going to be petty. Oh, look out. This is going to be my pettiest year ever.
I've been very petty. Like the one time I'm not petty, I've been petty the whole
James
season.
Harden.
Man.
Come on, man.
It's not even petty for James. Like that wouldn't even be petty. That'd be bored. Like at the end of the day, is it going to implode with James Harden? That's the easy bet. I'm going to not take the easy bet here this time and say maybe James Harden in the twilight of his career actually is finally going to figure out what he needs to do to win.
I'm sorry. Did you just try and be petty towards the concept of skepticism?
Yes.
I'm in a
Haize is
meta
over here
track
reinventing
right now.
the
We're
petty
in the
wheel.
fourth wall.
I'm 3D chessing petty right now.
I'm kind of on Haize's side here. Why am I buying this so much? Is it because the East is wide open? Is it because the Cavaliers are a really talented basketball team that, to their credit, have started figuring it out, right? I used the stat that they're 3-0 since trading for James Harden. They're 5-0. They're 5-0 in their last 5 games, right? They have started to level out. They have the top offense in the league over the last 15 games. Like everything we liked about Cleveland last year, they're starting to become that team this year. And then they added James Harden on top of that, which just by virtue of being out there is a better player than Darius Garland for them this season. I'm sort of buying it, Matt.
Okay. I've been more Harden positive than most people on the internet. So like this is not I am just of the opinion. I think the problem is if the Cavaliers were like, well, we're not really thinking about this number, then what happens? Like it just is very transparently about the money to me. We know it's about the money. Like we can all agree on that. Yes.
Yeah, but
I mean, money plays a role for sure.
No, like not a role.
But if the playing for the money is the vehicle to the Cavaliers winning a lot of playoff basketball games,
yeah,
maybe they are still able to accomplish what they want to accomplish. Jaren Jackson Jr., another big name that was traded at the deadline. He is worth updating here. He's out for the season after retiring. Strange timing, right? After playing so well in 3 games, averaging 22.3 points, 4.3 rebounds, and 2.7 assists in just 24 minutes per game since joining the Jazz, they announced that he's going to need surgery on his knee, and he's going to be out for the entire season. But what did we think, Haize, of what we saw from Jaren Jackson Jr. in his limited time with Utah?
I mean, he looked like the player that we expected Jaren Jackson Jr. to be. I mean, he looked like a player that can win Defensive Player of the Year. And he's in a new situation where, oddly enough, they have a lot of talent despite their record on that team. They're just creatively tanking. So I have high hopes for this team heading into next year. If they're able to retain Walker Kessler as well, like I said, they're going to be the toughest team to score on at the rim in the entirety of the league next year.
Yeah, they're going to be awesome. They're going to be absolutely incredible. This team is going to be amazing. And they blow out this Kings team last night, and Jazz fans are like, oh, you're not upset that we sat them now? Well, no, because if you win, it's fine. It's just if you're winning and then sit them to lose. It's a very simple process. Tripp's gonna be awesome there. I'm so happy for Jaren. He had respectful and complimentary and like really professional comments about Memphis last night. He's just like, he's the kind of player that you should want to build around. But you can go with Zach Edey, I guess.
I'm thinking about Utah next year with Jaren Jackson Jr. and like Haize was saying, you bring back Walker Kessler hopefully, and you add that whole group. What that team can be defensively. Plus, let's not forget they're going to have this pick here more likely than not at the top of the first round. Just real quick answer on this. I mean, we think about where they would rank in the Western Conference. Obviously, the teams ahead of them, OKC, San Antonio, Denver, Minnesota. I think then you start getting into like the Houston, Phoenixes, probably the Lakers with an offseason of tinkering around Luka. They still have Luka Doncic at the end of the day. I kind of think Utah might be right there, though, and that group. I mean, this is a team that could be legitimately battling for a playoff spot, maybe even, doing it without having to go through the play-in tournament, Haize.
Yeah, I mean, it's a possibility, and it'll be fun to watch, but it is what it is.
Matt?
I mean, I just think we're so early in the process. Like, this is the NBA. I don't know who's going to be where. Like, I don't know who's going to be on what team. The Lakers are reportedly going to try and swing for Walker Kessler. I think they keep them. I think they've signaled all along that they're going to keep him. I think they can be sixth, right? But I got the Nuggets going to be a lot worse next year. Well, some conversations around whether or not they're going to try and duck the tax. If they try and get out of the repeater next year, the Nuggets will absolutely be worse because Nikola Jokic may walk.
Did they not learn from the last time they tried to do that and then it took them 2 years to rebuild their depth? But
they won't be worse than Utah.
I mean,
Nikola
Jokic,
they've got Jokic.
Listen,
I'll
tell you right now.
Wes, I'm hijacking this. Here's what they have to do to get under the tax. I'm hijacking the segment for a Nuggets segment. To get under the tax, they have to let Cam Johnson and one of Aaron Gordon or Christian Brown go. And that's when Nikola Jokic is up for an extension. What if he doesn't sign it?
Yeah, can't do that.
What about Peyton Watson? What about losing him in restricted free agency?
Yeah, there's all this stuff. So, Suns could maybe this year was an outlier and they fall back down. I like Jordan Knott a lot and I like what they've done, but maybe they don't get better or they make some sort of move being like, we're there. And then they mess up all this chemistry and go for another star player because they can't help themselves. Or Houston, what if Houston implodes and goes and is like, nope, this isn't working. We're trading the young guys. And all of a sudden it's like there's a lot of things that could happen. I think the Jazz have the possibility absolutely be, I would say the ceiling for the Jazz next year is fourth. That's what I'll say the ceiling is.
It's a pretty high ceiling, especially considering where they're coming from. James Harden, we're not done talking about him. He had something to say about loyalty, and you're not going to believe what he had to say. We'll talk about that next. Today's episode of Locked On NBA Daily is brought to you by TurboTax. Tax season doesn't have to take over your life. This year, TurboTax is making it easier than ever just to hand things off and move on with your day. With TurboTax Full Service, you can have your taxes done for you by a trusted local expert, start to finish, without the stress or the guesswork. Instead of spending hours trying to figure out forms, you can meet with local TurboTax experts in person or connect online. They handle everything from W-2s to self-employment forms and work to get you every deduction possible. You can upload your documents, go about your day, and get updates right in the TurboTax app. It's a huge time saver and gives real peace of mind knowing that an expert is handling it. For a limited time, you can have your taxes done by a local TurboTax expert for just $150 all in if a TurboTax expert didn't file for you last year. Just file by February 28th. Take taxes off your plate and get back to your life. Visit turbotax.com/local to book your appointment today. Welcome back to Locked On NBA Daily. The best way to support the show is to subscribe on YouTube. We air Monday to Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern, wherever you get your podcasts. It's time for Make It Take It Thursday. You know the rules. 2 takes, 1 winner. We're going to start with Kawhi Leonard, who scored 19 points in the fourth quarter last night to beat the Rockets. He's now scored at least 20 points in 33 straight games. And since the Clippers turned their season around in mid-December, is the league's third leading scorer behind only Luka and Shea. And obviously we know what Kawhi can do defensively. Haize, start with you because you won last week. You get the ball first. Has Kawhi been the best player in the league for the last 2 months?
Man, I wanted to come in here and actually say no, but I mean, when you look at what Kawhi has been able to do, even the player that I wanted to go to argue the contrary was Jaylen Brown. But when you look in the on-off numbers, Kawhi Leonard has lifted up his team probably more than any other team over the last 2 months, even with Tyrese Maxey, even with Luka Doncic. It's been crazy the on-off numbers for Kawhi Leonard. You're looking at plus 10 when he's on the court. He has an estimated wins added of 25. They're 4 points better per 100 possessions when he's on the court. And defensively, teams are scoring 6.7 points less per 100 possessions when he's on the court. The opponent. So, Kawhi Leonard has been great on both sides of the ball. So I'll say yes, over the last 2 months, yes, he's been the best player in basketball. For the next 2 months, I don't know if I'd be willing to bet on that, though.
Yeah. I also, as a Kawhi skeptic, Wes is basically rigging this against me, and that's fine. Yes, he has been the best player in basketball. Jokic has been unavailable and has struggled since he came back. Shea's been injured. I think probably if we were, I think with Kawhi, it's you can't be injuries matter, availability matters when we're talking about Kawhi Leonard. So it's probably Shea just overall, but Kawhi, I think has been really impactful on every level. He's played absolutely awesome. He's made all of his jumpers, which is what he does. He doesn't do Wes was we know what he can do defensively. Not he's not really that guy anymore. He hasn't been that guy since 2017, but he's made all of his jump shots, and that's really important, and they've won a lot of games. But here's a question is, like, how much credit do you want to give him if he's also responsible for their start? Like, all this, like, look what he's done with this team with where they were at. Well, he was around for the beginning. Where was he at in the start? And we know he won't be there in the end. So, yeah, he's had a nice 2 months in the middle of the season. Congratulations. I'm just not going to sit here and, like, go overboard for a guy who continues to not give his teams enough. And, by the way, new allegations coming out of stuff with the Clippers coming out yesterday from Pablo Torre. So that's fine. Enjoy it now because we don't know when we're going to be seeing Kawhi all that much this summer.
So Kawhi did miss a handful of games in November, and he's basically been healthy since then. Missed a chunk of games in the middle of January, 3 games to be exact. He's making his jumpers, Matt. You're right. I agree with both of you in terms of the general, like, conceding, yeah, he has probably been the best player, but do we really expect this going forward? I'm going to give the point to Matt, though, because he was just a little bit more petty here, Haize.
He made every point that I made, the same exact point, Wes.
He's a little bit more petty.
So Matt criticized you for not giving the point. I see what's happening here. Like, we're going to
play the game. Play the game.
My own co-host.
You know how many points I've lost in this game?
I'm going to give him the point because he said everything you said in a different tone. All right, Wes. All right.
Don't get mad. Then he gets worse about it.
Moving on, James Harden told reporters that loyalty is overrated. Quote, the whole quote unquote loyalty thing. I think it's overrated. This is a business at the end of the day. End quote. Matt, is he right?
No, he's not right. And here's why. He's not wrong when it's talking about the idea of these relationships with teams, because this, again, fails to understand this. The players, the coaches, the teams, they act like this is just that nothing else exists in the world. Nothing else exists. It's just them. It's just business. And the fans can come in and watch them, and that's all this is. Sport is a cultural element. Yes, the point of this league is to make money. You make that abundantly clear over and over and over again. All of you do. There is a cultural element here. The fans are loyal to you. The fans don't want the stars traded. The fans don't want the stars to leave. And when the front offices get rid of these guys, do you think Clippers fans like that they did that to Blake Griffin? No. So do not sit here and act like no one gets hurt. The only people that get hurt are the ones that don't have a microphone in front of them, and that's the fans. I'm fine with players taking care of their own. Take care of your own career. You've got about 12 years for you to make your money. Fine, great, no problem. Enjoy those types of things. But understand that you are a member of a community and you mean something to people. And it is okay for people to feel like there should be some level of return on the investment that they give you, not only with their affection, but with their time and their money. So no, loyalty is not overrated. It's just disregarded by both sides of this equation in a pretty disgusting fashion.
Here's the thing. This is rich coming from James Harden because didn't he just have a problem with Daryl Morey because he wasn't loyal at the same time? So it's like, this is real rich coming from James Harden of all people. Like, this is a business, and the people, regardless, like the owners, the players, life will go on. But the fans are the one that's hurt by this. And basically what you're saying by this is that they don't matter in this. And to a degree, I understand. To some degree, we don't. But at the same time, the league wouldn't be what it is if it's not the fans. Those people that are in the stadiums, that's what you do this for. So if you don't have loyalty to your team, if the teams don't have loyalty to the players, at what point are people supposed to get attached to these players? Are we supposed to just not get attached to them anymore? That's the problem that this precedent set. But like I said, of all people to say this, James Harden, after you just got butthurt overseas because Daryl Morey wasn't loyal to you and made the best decision for the franchise at that time with your contract, I get it that I'm agreeing with Matt here, but I'll tell James Harden to shut the hell up.
I'm going to give the points to Haize here because I thought you're spot on in this assessment. For James Harden to say loyalty is overrated, what he means there is other people's loyalty is overrated.
Yeah.
What I want to do is properly rated. I agree with both of you, though, about the fans being the people that are hurt the most by this. And I do think one of the consequences of the player empowerment era is a lot of people who have jobs like we have, right, will say, I'm in favor of what is best for the players. I'm in favor of the players getting power back and being able to make the most money when they can. It just felt like in that player empowerment era, the fans were the people that were forgotten the most. We're talking about what's better for the owners, what's better for the players. I'm in favor of what is best for the fans, because at the end of the day, that's why this sport is on TV, and it's why these players and these owners make as much money as they do.
Wasn't that my point?
It was, but Haize got the points because he called out James Harden. He was more petty in that answer. Last one here, in a feature for ESPN detailing the falling out between Jonathan Kuminga and the Warriors, it was reported that somebody close to Jonathan Kuminga was taking too much food from the family room. Okay, interesting detail in here. I'm going to pose it to you guys, though. How would you, in this situation, handle this if you were in Kuminga's position? Would you address it with the person that was close to you, apparently taking that food? Would you just tell your boss off, tell them that they're being ridiculous? What would you do? Something else? How would you handle it? Haize, you go first.
Shut the hell up. That's what I would handle it. Like, at the end of the day, like, they didn't even want Jonathan Kuminga near the team. So I'm not like, if my family members are taking too much food from your family room, okay, cool. Give me more playing time. I'll tell them to get out the building. Like, it's this is one of the pettiest things that come out as far as the story of why a player, and there's discontent between the player and the franchise. Like, it's not that serious. Like, I get it. If you have that problem, send that person home and say that it is what it is. But you didn't do that. To come out with this now just seems like extreme pettiness, and that they just wanted some type of reason to give on why that relationship would continue to break down between Jonathan Kuminga and the Warriors.
If I were Kuminga, I would hire a catering company with the millions that they gave me and bring in the food, like a packet. It's like sandwiches everywhere, a wall of sandwiches. And then I would bill the owner directly. I would bill and CC Steve Kerr on it. That's what I would do to solve that problem.
I'm nothing if not consistent. Points to Matt for the maximum.
Yeah, that was pretty petty. That gets that one.
Probably just need to change.
I do like the idea of trading sandwiches for playing time.
We need to start doing these episodes live and let the viewers vote on this, because Wes's voting scale is so inconsistent. It doesn't make any. Next week, pettiness will have nothing to do with who gets the points.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Look, I'm coming off of a weird stomach flu that like altered my brain chemistry, so this might just be the way it is going forward, or maybe I'll recover fully and we go back to normal.
You've had a stomach bug your entire life? Weird.
It is the last night of games before the All-Star break. We're going to take a look at which teams can use a win the most after this. Today's episode is brought to you by ZocDoc. ZocDoc is a free app and website that helps you find and book high-quality in-network doctors so you can find somebody that you love without all the hassle. We're talking about booking in-network appointments with more than 150,000 providers across all 50 states, covering over 200 specialties, from primary care to dentistry and dermatology and eye care. I'll admit it, I've definitely put off doctor appointments longer than I should. Between work, life, and everything else, it's easy to delay. ZocDoc makes the process simple. You can search by specialty or symptoms and actually build a care team that works for you. You can see real-time availability and book instantly, no phone calls, no waiting on hold. You can also read verified patient reviews so that you feel confident choosing a doctor that you're actually going to like. And whether you want to go in person or do a video visit, ZocDoc makes it easy either way. So stop putting off those doctor appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/LockedOnNBA to find and instantly book a doctor that you love today. That's ZocDoc, ZocDoc.com/LockedOnNBA. ZocDoc.com/LockedOnNBA. Thanks to ZocDoc for sponsoring this message. Today's episode is brought to you by Wayfair. The new year is here, and it's the perfect time to reset your routine and refresh your space. It's spending more time at home if you're spending more time at home, you might as well love how it looks and how it feels. That's why you should turn to Wayfair. It's a one-stop shop for getting your home back on track. From bedding and mattresses to storage solutions for every room, Wayfair makes it easy to start your year fresh. Wayfair has everything you need for a full home refresh, all in one place. Whether you're updating your living room, organizing your space, or upgrading your work from home setup, Wayfair's huge selection makes it easy to find exactly what works for your style and your budget. My wife and I used Wayfair to put together our daughter's room last month, and I love that we could find pieces that matched her style, without spending a fortune. Shopping is easy, delivery is smooth, and everything arrives exactly as expected. It honestly made getting back into a routine this year feel a lot more manageable. Get organized, get refreshed, and get back on track this year for way less. Head to Wayfair.com right now to shop all things home. That's Wayfair, WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair. Every style, every home. Thanks for making Locked On NBA Daily your first listen every day. The Locked On Podcast Network has a show for every team. Check out Locked On Cavs, Locked On Jazz, Locked On Clippers for more on today's top stories. It's the last night of hoops before the All-Star break. We got 3 games: Bucks at Thunder, Blazers at Jazz, Mavericks at Lakers. We could dive into some of these games here specifically, but before we do that, guys, of the teams playing tonight, which of these teams need a win the most before the break, Matt?
Trying to figure out who needs a win on the last night before All-Star break is a very difficult question. All right, the Thunder don't need a win. They're 42-13. Let's do process of elimination. The Jazz don't need to win. They don't want to win. They will lose this game by whatever means necessary. The Mavericks don't need to win because they're tanking. So we're down to Bucks, Blazers, Lakers. I will say Bucks. If you can get back-to-back wins, especially if Cam Thomas plays a night and has himself a night and it's actually pretty good, it's going to be like the Bucks have some momentum going into the All-Star break. That would be very good for them versus what's going to happen, which is the Thunder without Shea are going to obliterate them because that team is a machine. Lakers don't have Luka, so they'll just be like, doesn't count. No, we don't have Luka. And the Blazers are just exactly where they belong, which is exactly mid. So I'm going to say the Bucks at 22-30 need to win the most.
I'm going to actually go the Portland Trailblazers need to win the most. They're 3-7 in their last 10. They were just the 9th seed. They're down to the 10th seed now. Selfishly, I need them to get up to the 8th seed ideally, so they only have to win 1 out of 2 games, so then the Bulls can get their number 1 overall pick. But I'll say the Portland Trailblazers for all those reasons I just listed. They're the team that needs to win here before the break.
So I want to zoom into that Mavericks-Lakers game. LeBron and Reeves should be back for the Lakers. Cooper Flag out with a foot injury for a while now, it sounds like, according to the latest reporting around the Dallas Mavericks and Cooper Flag. But you look at this Lakers team getting LeBron and Austin Reeves back, Matt, like you said before, Luka Doncic is out, so that kind of gives them a built-in excuse to win or to if they lose this game. But, you know, LeBron missing some time now. He's also now eliminated for end-of-season awards, which means his All-NBA streak is going to come to an end. Boo-hoo. What are you watching for in this game, though? If the Lakers are able to go out there with LeBron, Austin Reeves, isn't there something to be said about this team needing a little bit of momentum going into the break?
No, because I just think without Luka, you can't really get into any sort of idea. Like, if they lose, it's just gonna be like, well, you know, Luka was out, you know, and I don't know that there's any momentum you can gain off of this game. It's still like they have a negative point differential. They are 11 games over 500 with a negative point differential, which is wild. That is nuts. So I'm trying to figure out exactly what would benefit from like, what's the big win here for the Lakers? The Lakers' big thing is that they've got to rattle off a period of time between February and March of they have to look like, oh, this team's awesome. And it's going to, even if it's just offense, that's fine. Lean into it. But you're going to have to show, like, we can actually, you need something like, you know what? The overall numbers might not be good, but they're really good versus the top teams, which has not been the case. They've lost to everybody who's serious. So that's what they're really going to have to do here is show something coming out of All-Star break. That's the most important time, I think. Everyone plays very serious for the 2 weeks after All-Star because everybody's healthy. And that to me is the most important time for the Lakers.
Haize, maybe I can rephrase this. Which of these teams needs the break the most when we're looking at some of these teams? Because we're talking about injuries so much.
Ooh, the Thunder definitely need it. The Thunder, I'd say the Thunder and the Bucks probably need it the most because since they seem to be gunning for it and not tanking, they need Giannis to get healthy as soon as possible.
Well, we will not be taking a break during All-Star break. We'll be back on, today's Thursday. We'll be back Friday, and then we'll be back next week also. But if you like what you're doing, maybe I can use a break, guys. I don't know.
It's Wes's favorite time tomorrow. Tune in for hot All-Star takes from Wes Goldberg.
If you like what you heard today, subscribe to Locked On NBA Daily wherever you get your podcasts, including on YouTube. Thanks to Matt and Haize for their expertise every day. Thank you for making the Locked On Podcast Network your first listen. We'll see you right back here tomorrow on Locked On NBA Daily.